On this episode of Carnage, there is a car behind me here that hasn't run in over 25 years. We're going to see if it starts. Rightio, well, we're at a secret suburban location, and behind me here there's a shed with a car in it. We've been told it's a Valiant. We don't know what it is, what engine it is, or anything like that. It's been sitting there for over 25 years and it's going to get moved soon. So the owners have kindly let us come in and see if it starts. And yeah, this is going to be a bit of a voyage of exploration. We're doing some automotive archaeology today. It's covered in, well, bits of aircraft and cardboard and all sorts of other stuff. So we've got some work ahead of us just to clear the way, and then we can see what we're dealing with. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so we're going to glove up. We don't know what we're dealing with here. I've got a torch. I'm going to have a bit of a look in here and see what we can see. God, it is so covered. Alrighty. Oh, there's a bit of an angle in here. Well, it's definitely a Valiant from the shape there. I'm gonna have to move some stuff. Hang on. Hang on. I can't really tell, but wow. This is a two-door hardtop. It's really hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure. Yep. This is a two-door hardtop, Valiant hardtops, like VF or VG. Don't know at the moment, but pretty confident that's what it is. Badge here says it's a Regal. But yeah, all right, let's pull some parts off it and have a bit of a squiz, because this got very exciting very quickly. So before we get started, I just want to point out that there is a lot of aircraft parts here. This is like an engine cowling of something. It actually says here, insert nozzle of extinguisher in event of fire. So it's like a little thing that you like jam a extinguisher in there just in case it's on fire. It's very odd, very cool. So anyway, we're going to start moving this stuff. Matt's going to jump from behind the camera to give me a hand. He's going to glove up as well, and yeah. I'm going to move some of this stuff off so we can get at the Valiant goodness underneath and see what we're dealing with.
Kind of want it on the wall in my house. It looks cool as.
It is very cool.
It's behind it.
Hopefully nothing that's going to bite us. Which way do you want to go?
You go this way against fence?
As long as the fence ain't going to fall down.
What in the late 60s NASA is this? Is it from a helicopter?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Some crazy prototype plane?
That is, that's interesting. But yeah, it's a tail section. I reckon, I'd hazard to guess what it's off, but yeah.
What is this?
Turn it sideways so the camera can see. Wow. Yep.
Oh, I don't know what it is, but it's cool as.
Yeah. I reckon we could probably take that number there and put it into Google and it might tell us, but yeah.
All right. We'll Google it and get back to you.
Yeah. So we just had a bit of a Google and we're pretty confident, don't hold us to it, but we are pretty confident it is the tail section of an F-86 Sabre fighter jet. Yep. Genuine Warcraft parts. How cool is that? Let's peel it back in this way. Look at that. The classic Valiant hardtop. All right, what are we looking at? Going off the dash, it is a VG and it's a 770. 770 Regal. So that is the highest spec Valiant of the hardtop range. I mean, they made the Pacer hardtops, which are, you know, 6-cylinder manuals. This is floor shift auto. You can see from the console there. It has the 770 dash, which is, that's worth dollars. It's got the buffalo grain seats. It's missing the back seat by the looks of things. But yeah, wow, this is actually a bit of a thing. So they did come in 6s and they did come in V8s. So I guess we need to see what it's got. Wow, this is actually something kind of cool. Right, there is a lot of rat poop here. I don't think I'm going to be damaging the paint too much by doing that. Don't breathe. Wow. It's actually not a bad shell. Like, this would clean up quite good. Looks like it might have had some rust hole come up there because they've done some bog work. But generally, these things rust all out in this back window area, and this isn't showing any signs of that. Wow, I'd love to have this thing, but I know we can't afford it. Let's just see if we can get it going and see, well, what it is. Okay, so we're up the front. It's missing the whole, so front guards and grille and everything's missing, but okay, where's the bonnet catch? Yeah, there we go. Moment of truth. Let's see what we got. Yes! She's a V8, baby. Love it. That is cool. That's very cool. Chrysler V8. I'm guessing 318. Really need my torch to have more of a look at that. Let's have a look at the ID tag. So, tag says 6H23, which makes it a genuine V8 hardtop of the highest optioning. So yeah, it is a genuine V8 770 hardtop, which is actually a bit of a rare beast. So, and worth dollars. So yeah, we've got power brakes, air conditioning, although the air conditioning compressor is missing. Oh no, the compressor's right there. I was looking down there. Alternator is missing. Air conditioning compressors there. Power steer, aircon, power disc brakes. It's on LPG. Hopefully dual fuel. That might cause us some dramas in trying to fire this thing up. Hopefully it's dual fuel, because we don't have a bucket of LPG with us. Man, there is some rat shit on this thing. I mean, it is everywhere. Just rat droppings, the whole valley here is just full of rat droppings. I'm glad there is something on the engine. I guess while we're here, okay, it has oil of almost the required amount. It actually doesn't, like, it's black, but you know, you expect that. But that actually doesn't look terrible. No water on it. No rust. Yeah, okay. So, other than the overabundance of rat poop, this is actually a pretty good shell. Like, I'm looking down on the sill on this side. The sill is clean as. The plenums look solid. This is actually a good restoration project for someone. Restoration or hot rod, whatever you want to do. This is a good project for someone. And I believe they are interested in selling it. But if you think you're going to get it for $2,000, you're dreaming. Because, yeah, I think this is worth a lot more than that. Certainly Valiant prices have come up a lot over the last couple decades, and yeah, something like this, which has got a bit of rarity to it, I mean, I'd be thinking 10 to 15, honestly. You know, think about it. If this was a HK Monaro in this condition, you know, like with a genuine V8 Monaro in a shed with very little rust or body damage, in mostly complete condition. I mean, yeah, there's guards missing and stuff like that, but that's all pretty easy stuff to fix. If it was a Monaro, you'd be talking 50. Seriously, you would. You know? Yeah. So, interesting car. Yeah, very interesting. And then just, why has it been sitting here for 25 years? I don't know. I have to talk to the owner about that. Apparently he's off doing things today, so he's not around, but he's just let us in here to do our thing. And he's a big fan of the channel. He watches every week, so yeah. Before we get started up the front, I do want to have a look at what's in the boot. Thankfully, someone's already punched out the boot lock for us, and the old trick is the screwdriver. Here we go. All right, you know I'm honest about this stuff. I have never looked in the boot, so I have no idea if a snake's about to jump out and bite me, so I'm just going to step back when I open it. Okay, good. Wow, so much rat poop. So little rust. Wow, this thing is really, I should put my face mask on, but hoses, fan belts. Wow, this thing is just tidy. Gas, yeah. So look what they've done over here. The gas line runs over to this little housing, and go from the other side, but why would you do that? They cut a hole in the side of the car. Why would you cut a hole in the side of a classic like this? I suppose 25 years ago it wasn't such a classic, but I mean, 25 years ago, these are what I was driving as daily drivers. So actually, that was more like 30 years ago. But yeah. Yeah, wow. I guess that's the only real damage that you got to repair, but still it's a pretty easy repair too. It's not across any of the body lines, it's just a flat side. Okay, so just looking at it, so we've got fuel line goes to there, so fuel line goes to there. Alright, so it looks like it is dual fuel. Whether any of these, like whether this solenoid, this lock off works, don't know. What switch controls it, don't know. But yeah, they've taken off the fan for some reason. I don't know why. So I guess we should tighten them up first and then whack a socket on the front of the engine and see if it turns over just by hand.
That battery's probably fine, hey?
Yeah, I'm sure that battery is totally fine. As I work on this thing, I was just trying to remember how many of these things I've owned over the years, like Valiant hardtops. I think the number is at least 6. So I've had 3 Pacer hardtops over the years. And I've had one of these, a 770 VG hardtop, but it was a 6-cylinder car, not a genuine V8 car, although I had a 318 in it. Won a lot of drag racing trophies with that car actually. A lot of bracket racing stuff back in the 90s at Canberra and Sydney, or Eastern Creek, when we used to race at Eastern Creek Raceway. And then yeah, so I reckon at least 6. But it could have been a couple more buried in there, like parts cars and stuff. But yeah, wow. They used to be so cheap. You know, we used to pay like $1,000 for them. And, you know, just go have fun with them. They even demo derbied one, would you believe it? Yep. So this is the biggest socket I have, but from memory, I don't think that is big enough to go onto the crank bolt of a V8 Valiant. So this, let's see this. Yeah. So there's a couple of things going on here. What we're going to do is I've got to go back to the workshop, get a bigger socket for the crank bolt. Want to make sure the engine turns by hand before we even try to start it. I need to get some shorter bolts for this water pump pulley here. Someone's taken the fan off. If you do these bolts off, because there's usually a spacer in there as well, these bolts are so long they'll actually go into the front of the water pump. So what I'm going to do is find some shorter bolts just so we can make sure that pulley's not going to go zinging off. I've decided I'm going to give it a try to fire up. We're going to bring back some fire extinguishers from the workshop just in case. Hopefully it doesn't go pear-shaped on us, but yeah. And there is no alternator, but I have just remembered I have an alternator at the workshop as well, and that may do the trick. So let's grab that as well and see if we can fit the alternator. And with those in place, I think we might be able to start it. Anyway, let's go back to the workshop, grab some bits. Okay, so we've been back to the shop, grabbed some bolts. They were the wrong bolts. They weren't long enough. So what I'm going to do is ditch these bolts altogether, take the pulley off because we won't need it for a startup. Right, okay. So that we don't need for the moment. Yeah. Take that for the moment as well. Right. Can you move them? Nope. Alright. I'll turn by hand. Oh, look at that. I can turn it over by hand. Okay. So engine turns over by hand. So not seized. Bit of a timing chain slaps there. Wow. It's got a loose timing chain. But it turns over freely. Okay, well that's a good thing. Okay. So first question answered. It does turn over. I'll get this out of the way. Right, yeah. I'll go get one of our other batteries. Okay. What happens? Okay, I am going in. Oh yeah. Gas, petrol. Okay. So right now I'm unwinding the key barrel. So there we have it, that's our key barrel assembly. If we unplug that and that, right, we should be able to jump those. Alright, so we know the starter motor works. Okay, so there's no ignition running through the ignition system, no 12 volt running through the ignition system I should say. So that's purely just jumping the starter relay. So we know it will turn the starter motor. What we need is fuel and spark. So for spark we need power running through the ignition system, and then we need fuel running into the carby for that side of things to work. Alrighty. Did you happen to check out the last rego sticker on the window? 1990. Which for me doesn't seem like long ago. 1990 feels like 10 years ago, but in the real world, 1990 was a long time ago. Considering how long everything's been sitting here, that's like remarkably clean. Okay. Kickdown's a bit jammed up. Spring's gone. Puts her up, you don't need that. But the throttle moves freely, that's good. So down the carby looks pretty clean, but Matt just pointed something out to me that looks horrifying. The rats have had a field day on the wiring just there. Hopefully none of that really affects what we're trying to do here. But yeah, that's a shit show right there. The rats have munched the loom hard. Okay, so what I'm going to do is connect the battery up, tip a little bit of fuel down the carby, short out the ignition circuit, and then hit the starter. Let's see what happens. All right, let's connect ignition. Alrighty, so we have ignition on. Obviously oil light is showing because it has no oil pressure right now. So this might not work at all because of, as we mentioned, rat wiring. But we'll give it a nice little, whoops, probably more than I intended and more everywhere than I intended. Let's have that fire extinguisher nice and handy. All right. Okay. It kicked.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So, give it another splash. Start a relay. So it runs. We made it run. Obviously, it'd be nice to have it running full time. However, to do that, I think we need to replace the fitting up the top here on the carby. We need to run a new line down to the fuel pump. Maybe that'll work, maybe it doesn't. You know, we don't know if this little lock-off relay works at all. So we might, yeah. I think to go further, we need to do a lot more. And to be honest, we don't know how much more we want to do. So anyway, it runs. Do you want to see us do more with this car? Well, you're just going to have to let us know. And it's going to very much depend on views. If this video tanks, yeah, we're probably not going to do any more with the car. But if it goes great guns and you want to see more content like this, let us know. Watch the video, give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe. Hey, that's something I never ask you to do, but if you subscribe, it's good for everyone. Or alternatively, if you want to buy this car, get in contact with us via email. Link will be in the description. Contact us. We can put you in contact with the owner. And if you're fair income interested in buying this car, we can put you in contact with them. And they can, yeah, work out a deal with you, because I think this is a pretty awesome car. Like body-wise, it's great. Yes, there's some work that has to be done on this thing, but it has a running engine, despite the wiring being chewed by some rats. It's going to make a great project for someone. Will that someone be us? Don't know, but whatever happens, you'll see on a future episode of Carnage.